'Tis the season to be poly fa la 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 la. Hello everyone, I bet you weren't expecting anything from me today, but well, here I am. This is just going to be a little video where I discuss my thoughts on Amphibia Season 3A. I didn't do weekly reaction videos this time around, but I figured one condensed video where I just share my thoughts about the episodes as a whole would be fine, which I can record now that I'm home for Thanksgiving. I intend to have this finished by the end of November. You'll see whether or not I reach that deadline. Spoilers disclaimer, if you have not watched Amphibia Season 3A, do not watch this video. Make sure you're caught up. Episodes 1 through 5 are on Disney+, and all episodes are on Disney now. Well, at least in the United States. If you're overseas, I'm not sure about your situation. Well, without further ado, let's begin. Alright, the episodes were all good. Some were definitely better than others, but there were no outright bad ones. There was a lot of imagination going around. I agree with the general sentiment that there should have been more episodes that took place in Amphibia. Turning Point and Olivia and Union were two of the best episodes this season, and we should have gotten more like those. Definitely some of the Earth episodes could have been sacrificed for more Amphibia screen time. But that doesn't mean all of the episodes were filler. I mean, some of them were pretty fillery. But, you know, you have something like Thai Feud, which is completely unimportant to the main plot, but is important for character reasons. It shows that Sprig desperately misses his mom and wants the nearest maternal figure to like him, to approve of him. There's a good balance between action and dialogue scenes, which is something the show has always been good at. There was a great representation of Thai culture, especially in Temple Frogs. That was a good episode. There were a few plot holes going around, like Anne having Marcy's journal, which made no sense. Where did that come from? And also Anne seemed to come back during the summer, but suddenly it's Christmas. Like, oh, maybe she came back in like November, but why wasn't she at school? My favorite episode so far this season was Olivia and Union, which probably isn't a surprise since I know a lot of people really love that one. The flashback at the beginning was really happy, but also kind of sad because of the contrast between how happy Marcy was back then and how dire her situation is now. Olivia and Union banding together to save Marcy was nice, so was everyone facing their fears, and oh god, the ending. I just want to give Marcy a hug because she needs it. Ugh. So horrifying.
I don't like this!
As for the least favorite, I think overall the episodes focusing on Sprig tend to be the weakest. My least favorite was Thai Feud. I know I was just saying something good about this episode earlier, but I didn't really like it. I think Spider Sprig is objectively worse, but I just found that one kind of forgettable, whereas I personally thought Thai Feud was kind of annoying. There's a better way of showing that Sprig misses his mom. They could have done that better. Sprig's birthday was fine, though. I actually really liked that one. I liked the little references to Disney properties you see throughout the various episodes. That was nice. Alright, time to talk about the Christmas episode a little bit. I like how the intro was Christmas-fied. Anne's hair was green instead of blue, and oh my god, it's green. What does that mean? It's probably nothing. Probably. The episode had a good balance of wholesome and serious. It was very nice and sweet, you know, message about the true meaning of Christmas. This Christmas feels like the very first Christmas to me. That doll Sprig made for Anne was so adorable. The Newts wearing elf outfits was cute, and I guess King Andrews had some willing collaborators, which, I mean, there's always a few. I liked the song by Rebecca Sugar. I liked how some of the characters came back. There was less horrifying moments than I expected. More on that later, because we only got like a little bit of possessed Marcy. Or Darcy, I suppose. And yes, they finally acknowledged Sasha and Marcy's parents. Like, that was just one of the things that throughout this whole season I kept wondering, like, when is anyone going to bring that up? And Sasha's parents seem to be divorced, which is reinforcing my old theory that Sasha had a bad home life. But really, why did no one ask about Sasha and Marcy? I mean, Anne was clearly brushing aside her trauma just to focus on getting the planners back home. But, you know, she's been having lots of fun while her friends are just going through hell in Amphibia. That's not right. Also, it took a lot longer than it should have to acknowledge that the planners are missing home. At least that episode did answer where the skip man came from. Lastly, I've got to commend how the intro changed after Marcy got possessed. You know, She-Ra Season 5 did those changing intros, and I like how Amphibia is doing the same thing. It's great to see how far Anne has come as a protagonist. She started out nervous and unsure and doubting herself. Now she's become much stronger, much more confident, much more of a natural leader. And whenever she goes into God mode, beautiful. Yes, I will always call it God mode. Anne's relationship with her parents is very wholesome. They're great characters. I love how accepting they are. I mean, obviously they're surprised with everything that's going on, but they take the planters in and protect them. They help Anne on her quest. They accept her powers. Overall, it's clear why Anne missed them so much. Mr. Moonchoy being a gamer is an interesting angle, but I guess loving gamers runs in the family, am I right? Also, I have to give massive props to Owen Braley, who is not an actress, but gives one of the best performances on the show. She gives a lot of depth to Mrs. Moonchoy. Other three frog planters, Polly had the best stuff this season. Fixing Frobo was a good episode. Her antics with Domino were cute. And overall, it's good to see her using her legs. I mean, Polly's my favorite of the three frog planters, so I guess it's not a surprise that I thought her stuff was the best. Sprig and Hop Hop stuff was just okay. Once again, except for Sprig's birthday. I really like that one. It's good to see Sasha finally getting some real character development. Marcy would probably call it a redemption quest. Sasha and Grime and the Wartwoodians rallying together to start a revolution and defeat Andreas was really nice. It's a shame we didn't get to see more of it, though. Also, I'm not sure if Sasha's hair is dyed or if she wishes it was a different color, but something's definitely going on. As I said before, it was really sad to see how happy Marcy was at the beginning. She thought everything would be great, but True Colors was a rude awakening, and everything went downhill from there. It's good that she's recognizing what she did was dumb, but she doesn't deserve this. Possessed Marcy, or Darcy, is really creepy and terrifying, but awesome, massive, I don't feel safe energy. You have the core, which I still want to call the Night, but I guess we're supposed to call it the core now. I like the idea of like multiple minds being amalgamated together into one thing, and they keep wanting to grow its collection. That was an interesting angle. It wasn't what I was expecting, but still horrifying. And yes, I have to mention that Disney is okay with this, but this doesn't fit the brand. I like how Andreas was both goofy and threatening. Like, you get the impression that something's going on in there. Something's not right. His friends abandoning him really took a toll on his mental state. He seemed to not want Marcy to get possessed, but it was really unclear. I think he initially saw her as just a pawn, but perhaps his fractured mind latched on to the only friend he's had in years. But as I said before, a simple pawn can take out the king. I think he was having too much fun on Christmas, though, let's be honest. Olivia and Union, they're the Sunshine Protectors. I mean, they didn't really do a great job protecting Marcy, but they tried. I'd love to see them join Sasha's revolution if they can. I mean, they're probably in prison right now. The Cloak Bot was only in a few episodes, but he was a good threat. I like most of the new human characters. Dr. Jen, Mr. X, the IT gals, Terry, etc. They had a lot of fun stuff to the mix, and they're not that different from the amphibians, so they show that everyone is kind of human. I mean, Humphrey's existence is proof that Frog Seuss was right. That's not to say I love all the new humans. I really couldn't care less about Robert Otto and Ned the food truck guy. Froggy Little Christmas is technically not the mid-season finale, but according to Matt Braley, episode 10 will work as a premiere and as a finale, so I'm guessing that episode will have Anne and the Planters, and maybe the Moonchoys, going back to Amphibia, because that seems like it could work as a finale or a premiere. We know Terry is helping Anne build a new portal. Will they have to find this Dr. P to make it? Who is that? I mean, is Dr. P related to the Pines family? I mean, Jason Ritter's supposed to be on the show, and he hasn't shown up yet, so could Dipper be on it? I mean, probably not, but you never know. Maybe when they're making the portal, there would be a sequence where you can see other worlds, which are other shows. I mean, that would be a fun little reference. The Waybrights and the Woos will probably appear in episode 10, since Froggy Little Christmas ended with setting that up. Still don't know why they never questioned anything. I mean, maybe the Woos did move, and that's why they didn't know, and one of Sasha's parents could be out of state, but the other one is presumably still in Los Angeles. But I guess my theory about her parents not caring. Could we be getting episode 10 on December 22nd? Because it says that 5 episodes will be put onto Disney Plus on that date, and there's only 4 which aren't on there. So could it be airing early on Disney Plus? I mean, that's not unprecedented. 3 episodes of The Ghost and Molly McGee aired on Disney Plus before they aired on Disney Channel. By the way, I've also been watching Molly McGee. That's not important to this video, but it's a really good show. It has great characters, great animation, great cultural representation. You should check it out if you haven't already. If episode 10 does air on the 22nd, then I might do an episode reaction review video for that. We'll see. Who is the mother of Olms? That's the big question. We did see some Olms in season 2, so maybe they're connected to the mother, but probably not. Andrea says Olms have mercy in one episode, so are Olms deities? So the mother of Olms is like God, I guess? I'm not really sure. Maybe the mother of Olms is the axolotl from Gravity Falls, and the core is the axolotl's evil counterpart because its helmet kind of has the axolotl theme. Will they run into Andreas' former friends, or at least the frog one, because she's probably still on Earth, and, I mean, there's all those theories that she's secretly Sprig and Polly's mom, and she's still alive, or maybe not alive, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not impossible, but we'll still have to wait and see. I've accepted the Anne loses an arm and Sasha loses an eye theories because there's a decent chunk of evidence that suggests it, and, you know, there was plenty of foreshadowing of the Marcy getting stabbed, so I think they could be setting this up. And a lot of people have been drawing Sasha with short hair, so I'll accept that too. She'll lose an eye and her hair. The intro paints the core as a bigger threat than Andreas, like maybe it'll get rid of him once he's no longer useful. I mean, in the Christmas episode, it seems very unimpressed with Andreas, so, I mean, it could happen. The fight with Darcy will probably be like a Winter Soldier-esque thing, you know, like the classic, I know you're in there type fight. What if Darcy goes for the finishing blow, but then Anne starts softly singing No Big Deal, and then that's how Marcy comes awake again? Oh, my heart. Marcy will presumably suffer permanent physical damage from this, and possibly permanent mental damage, since, I mean, that's a lot of minds just existing within her mental escape. She's definitely going to have some sort of communication with the core, because there's that quote from the trailer, which so far hasn't shown up yet, which might be in episode 10, or could be in the second half of the season, who knows. But it's clearly talking to Marcy, so Marcy's consciousness must still exist somewhere, even if it's just trapped in there. You know, there's the prophecy of 3 stars shining bright, so it's the implication that all 3 of them will have God mode. Maybe Valeriana will come back and can help Sasha and Marcy unlock God mode. I think there will be a big endgame style final fight where everyone from both worlds comes together to defeat the core. As evil as he is, if Andreas dies, I think his death might be presented in a sad way. Not that we're supposed to feel bad for him, just that it might be a sad ending. You know, be like, I just wanted friends, why did they leave me? I think the show might end with a time skip. I mean, a lot of shows do that. There'll be integration between the 2 worlds, not in a Star versus merged worlds kind of way, more of a Legend of Korra, the spirit portals remain open kind of way, so you can just freely go from Earth to Amphibia without any issues. The Owl House should also end that way, but that's beside the point. I used to be exclusively a Marsan shipper, but once we learned more about Sasha's insecurities, I've moved on to Sasha and Arcee. I don't want Sasha to feel left behind. I mean, Marcy seemingly wanted to ask Anne or Sasha or both to the prom, so it would be a convenient way to all of them get together. All the combinations between them has its own merits, so it would just be the easiest way to solve it. After everything they've been through, they deserve some happiness together. The extended Boonchoi Planter family can only get bigger. Well, that's it for now. I guess it's time for me to come up with more Owl House theories for whenever that comes back. Are Luz and Amity the reincarnations of Azura and Hecate? Imagine if that's actually true. Will they show up on Amphibia? I mean, we briefly saw the Owl House in If You Give a Frog a Cookie, so I won't let this Disney TV animation multiverse theory die. What if Amphibia Season 3B and Owl House Season 2B air at the same time? Oh, I'm not ready. Okay, but seriously, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I hope your holiday season is great as well. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, whenever that may be, thanks for watching.